What's up everybody, welcome to another honey hole angling video. Today I'm going to show you what I took on my Smith River trip. The Smith is a 5-day 4-night float on a river in Montana, so it's overnight camping, and these are the clothes that I packed. Hopefully this will help you guys out on your next floating or camping trip as some ideas for gear to bring. And I actually already went on the trip and I'm doing this video after so I could talk about what I thought was helpful, maybe what I shouldn't have taken, and we can kind of talk through it. So the first thing is a couple pairs of underwear. I think I actually took 4, and I like these Ex Officio underwear because they're antimicrobial. They actually claim you can wear them up to 6 weeks. I wouldn't do that personally, but you can get a couple days use out of them. The next thing I took is 3 long sleeve hooded sun shirts. Montana can be hot and there's a lot of sun exposure, and so I kept my skin covered pretty much the whole time. 1 t-shirt for camp and a pair of sleeping shorts. I would kind of wipe down every night and put these clothes on. These are like semi-clean clothes to sleep in. Next, I have some pairs of gloves that I took. These are sun gloves. Actually never wore them, so probably wouldn't take them again. I don't like wearing these unless I have to because it messes up my casting. I have cold weather gloves. Never touched those either. Actually, a lot of the cold weather gear I never touched. The interesting thing about the Smith is that we went in the middle of June and it can be hot or it could snow on you. And so the recommendation is to bring cold weather gear. It was never really that cold. I did wear vests and jackets at times, but that was about it. Swimsuit, in case you wanted to jump in the river, I did use that. And then 2 pair of long fishing pants, got me through the trip. I have neoprene socks here to wear with some shoes, keep your feet warm because the water's chilly in Montana. Beanie, never touched it again. Didn't get that cold. But with that being said, if I was gonna go again in the future at the same time period, I would still pack all of this cold weather gear. The forecast made it look colder than it actually was, and so you just never know. You don't wanna go on a trip like that and then not have the gear that you need. So you need to pack your cold weather gear. I have 4 pair of wool socks right here of differing weights. I didn't use the heavy ones, I only used the light ones. So again, make the decision that's best for you. And I have 2 buffs. I have a warm weather sun buff and then a cold weather fleece buff. Again, never touched that either. Base layers, never used those either, but again, feel like you need to pack them. And then I had some camp sweatpants. These I would not pack again. I thought these would be nice around camp at night when it got chilly, and with taking the base layers and some, having waders and stuff like that, having a really compact packing space, these I would leave at home next time. The vest, this is what I probably wore the most on the trip. It's just an Orvis lightweight insulated vest. I really got a lot of use out of it. Wore it most evenings and most mornings. Lightweight jacket, I did use this again when it got a little chillier. I mean, we had temperatures, the coldest probably in the 50s. So, maybe I'd wear the lightweight jacket and the vest. And that was the most that I needed to use on this trip. I have a heavyweight insulated jacket, never touched it. And then this is my rain jacket. I did use this. Here are the bags that I took on the trip. This is the Yeti Panga 75. This was great. Some people on the trip had the 100 size. Those people also had really big sleeping bags, so I would say that they needed it. I was able to fit everything between basically these 2 bags. This was a packed bag, and I'll explain how I use that in a minute, but this thing was great. It's waterproof. What ends up happening on a trip like this is we had gear boaters, so all of the gear for the whole trip went downstream on a separate boat than I was on. But if you're doing a kayak trip or a DIY trip, this bag is gonna be on a boat and you wanna keep it dry. Just in case it rains. It did rain on us, and you wanna make sure that your gear is good to go and that your gear is dry. This backpack went with me every day on the boat, so I had everything that I might need during a day. So rain jacket, camera equipment, a little bit of fishing equipment, sunscreen, chapstick, all of those things went in this bag with me on the boat that I was on during the day. And then these are little fish pond rod tube holders. When I was traveling through the airport, I stuck these on the side right here of this backpack and was able to have my rod tube with my bag with me. On the way back, I actually put my rod tube in this bag. It fits, but it's real awkward to get in here. I would say the rod tube would be easier to fit in the 100. You have to like open the bag and you have to put it in an awkward angle. And it's a little bit difficult, but you can get it in there and it will lay the length of the bag. This bag, this is an Orvis, just like soft tote bag. And what I did is you can fold this up and pack it in one of your other bags. But during the trip, I would put my wet clothes in here and basically my waders and my boots that I wore during the day. And that way it keeps them away from all of my dry gear and makes it a lot easier. And on the way home, I carried this as an additional carry-on. So I took this and carried them and checked this bag. That way I could keep my wet clothes in this bag and keep everything else that was dry and things didn't get, nasty and gross on the way home. So, okay, so here is some of the odds and ends, other things that I took on the trip. 2 contractor trash bags. I only ended up using 1, but there could be a need for 2 and they don't take up that much space. This is basically for your wet clothes at the end of the trip. And then I threw that in that Orvis bag I had showed you guys. Fishing license, fairly simple. You'll need that if you're fishing. 2 pairs of sunglasses. My thought process is there when you're on the river for 5 days and you lose a pair, sunglasses are very important to me. If it's really bright outside, I can't see, and so I took 2 pairs. I only used 1, but I took 2 just in case, and I would do that again. 2 hats, like more of a sun style bucket hat, and then a ball cap. Fly fishing reel, fly rod. I took a 9'5" weight. It worked great for me the whole trip. Caught tons of fish. A towel. What I would do next time is, some companies make some like microfiber towels that pack up way smaller just to save a little bit more space. Sleeping bag. This is a Marmot 15-degree bag. It was a little warm for this trip, but I would take it again. This one packs really small. Some of the other guys on the trip had like big, bulky, like Coleman style sleeping bags, and it was really nice that I had an extremely packable sleeping bag. This is also very warm. Camp pillow. This thing actually smushes up really small and compresses a lot, so it doesn't actually take up a lot of space, but it's a game changer when you're trying to sleep. Water bottle. And then I took 2 recharge packs. This one has a solar panel built in, and this is a solar panel add-on that you can charge the power bank with. Now, the only reason I took this much is because I took a lot of camera equipment and I want to make sure I had charged batteries. If you guys are just taking your iPhone to take photos, then you can get away with 1 power bank. If you're doing like photos and videos on an iPhone, 1 power bank doesn't even need to be this big, and you can, as long as you can charge your phone a couple times, put your phone on airplane mode, the battery lasts a long time, you can get away with 1 power bank. But the reason I took 2 again is because I filmed a lot of the trip, and I'm going to do a separate video on the actual float. So, okay, next we actually have the wading gear that I took. These are the Orvis Approach shoes, I believe what they're called. They're actually a wet wading shoe, but they're a lot lighter and easier to pack than a traditional wading boot that's big and bulky and it's going to take up a lot of space. these things worked great. When I wanted to wear my waders, I could wear them with my waders. When I wanted a wet wade, I put on a neoprene sock. They worked great. My waders are the Patagonia Ultralight waders. They actually fit into this bag, believe it or not. I have a separate review video for those. I'll link into the description. This bag is smaller than my sleeping bag. These things were awesome. They have rubber booties, which is different, but because they have rubber booties, they will fit into my wet wading shoes. These aren't sized with traditional wader booties with the thick neoprene boot. Will not fit into these. These are made to be worn wet wading, but when you have a rubber booty, like Patagonia makes, see how thin that is on these ultralight waders, these will comfortably fit in here, no problem. So this combination saved me a ton of space on the trip, where some other guys were taking full-size waders, you know, full-size wading boots, takes up a lot of space. This made packing a lot easier, and these waders ended up working out great. They're so light, you know, on warmer days I could wear my waders. They didn't get too hot sometimes. Last but not least, this is the rest of the gear that I took on the trip. So this is charging cables for cameras. This is SD cards. This is all GoPro camera equipment. So this is what all of my camera gear that I took packed looks like, along with my phone as well, because I'm holding my phone right now, so you guys aren't going to see it in the video, but I took my phone and I took photos and videos on my phone as well. This is my bathroom bag. Allergy meds, Advil, some stuff I might need, things like that. Normal stuff that whatever you need, take it with you. I had an EpiPen with me as well because I'm allergic to bees. These were my, basically, when I wasn't fishing shoes. I only took 2 pair of shoes. I took the Orvis Pro Approach shoes that I showed you, wore those while I was fishing. When we were back at camp, any other time through the airport, I wore, this is an old pair of Hey Dudes I have. They're easy slip on. They were already kind of nasty, so I didn't mind taking them on this camping trip. They worked great. So I considered taking a pair of sandals, but I didn't. I was happy with the situation of taking those shoes and the wading shoes. And then chapstick, little finger sleeve for stripping line. I never actually used that, but I had it in case I burned my finger at some point. And this is just a little bag of terminal tackle. It has some leaders, has a pair of nippers, has tippet, has a couple indicator split shot, things like that. The guides actually provide everything, but I wanted to, just in case, you know, I can fix my own leaders, I can tie my own flies on. I wanted to have some extra gear just in case I needed it. I actually did use some of it. You know, if a guide's rowing, is in a tight spot, you can't pull over, you know, I have quick access to my gear and I can get back fishing sooner. I had the clothes that I wore through the airport, including my fishing belt. I don't have those pictured here, but I wore the clothes in the airport to the trip, and I wore those same clothes back, so I wasn't really wearing them on the trip, but those were like clean clothes to travel there and back in. So I hope all of this helps you guys. If you have any gear questions, or like what should you pack, what shouldn't you pack, drop them in the comments or shoot me an email. I will reply to your email if you send it to me, info@honeyholeangling.com. If you need gear recommendations or have questions about this trip or any other trip you're going on, I'm happy to help however I can. I have a full video of my float down the Smith that will be coming out as well. I'll link that in the description when it's ready. And then I also have gear review videos of the waders and of the Yeti backpack. I'll link those in the description. They'll be more in depth about that gear specifically. But if you guys want to check those items out, great. They'll be in the description below. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys on the next video.